About multi-step equations. Multi meaning more than one. So multi means more than one. More than one. Yeah, let's get started. So example number 1 is 19 is equal to negative 5 minus 4x. The first thing we're going to do is I recommend rewriting it. All we're going to do is flip it just a little bit. So, negative 4x minus 5 is equal to 19. So all you have to do, just rewrite it. Flip it, flip the problem. But now let's start solving. So, step 1 is to isolate the variable. We want to isolate the variable. And in order to do that, we need to get rid of this negative 5. So, let's add 5 since we're doing the inverse operation. And now it's on the other side. We do plus 5 here. 19 plus 5 is 24. That is 24. The negative 5, and then, so if you have negative 5 and you add 5, that cancels out because that's 0 and we don't need it. So 24 is equal to negative 4x. Next, we need to get rid of everything, all the coefficients and just, we need to be left with x. So to do that, we're going to do the inverse operation. And the inverse operation here is going to be division, since we're multiplying negative 4 and x. When we have two things next to each other, that means we're multiplying. So if we had 5 and then a 6, this is multiplication. So here we have two things next to each other. So we're going to do the opposite of that, which is dividing. And instead of dividing by 4, we're going to divide by negative 4. So we can just get rid of that negative sign. So 24 divided by negative 4 is negative 6. Negative times negative is equal to a positive. And so x equals 6 because negative 4 and negative 4 get canceled out. And as you can see, we just have one thing left, and that's the x. X is equal to negative 6. You can check this. And let's insert that negative 6. I'm going to insert in blue. So this time, we're going to use order of operations since we have no variables, of course. So let's do that. So negative 4 times negative 6, that's positive 24. Got the negative sign here and then negative sign here, so that's plus 24. Negative 5 plus 24 is equal to 19. I'm just going to flip it the side of the 19. Then we would do negative 5 plus 24. That can be written as 24 minus 5. 24 minus 5 is 19. 19 is equal to 19. Check. So x is equal to negative 6. So you always want to check your answer. All you have to do is insert the x, and you're golden. So our next example, we have an x fraction. So let's start solving. So you might be thinking, let's just get rid of this 2 right here. But that is actually going to be at the end. Instead, what we are going to do is get rid of everything except for this x over 2. So to do that, just going to do plus 18 on both sides because we want to move the 18 to this side. Plus 18 here as well. 11 plus 18, that is 29. 29. Since we have a negative 18 and then we add 18 to it, that cancels out. That becomes 0. So if 29 is equal to x over 2, the next thing we're going to do is we want to get rid of this 2. Because if we get rid of the 2 goes away, then we just are left with x. So let's do that. So to get rid of the 2, x over 2, so this is division because you can represent it as division. So you could literally just put a division sign and it'll be x divided by 2. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2. 2 times 2 will just cancel out because you just have that there. And then 29 times 2 is 58. And check that with math. 29 multiplied by 2, 9 times 2 is 18. 2 times 2 is 4, and then you have 58 when you add that 1. So x is equal to 58, and let's quickly check this. Let me do that in the orange. 58 over 2. Let's check that. 58 divided by 2 is 29. And then we could just put that negative 18 there. Minus 18 is equal to 11. 29 minus 18 is 11. 11 is equal to 11. So we conclude that x is equal to 58. Now we have 3 over 5x. Just thinking about how to say that. Plus 1 is equal to 16. So here we have an interesting case. Very interesting. Instead of having a coefficient of x, or instead of having 2 over x, or x over 2, we now have a coefficient fraction. And you may be like, oh yeah, let's move that to the other side, and you are right. But we have to do it in a specific way. We're going to do the opposite of what's being done here. This right here is multiplication. This is multiplication. Let me just multi. So that's multiplication right there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to instead multiply it by its inverse. So let me rewrite the equation just down here. 3 over 5x plus 1 is equal to 16. But first, before we do any of that, we have to get rid of this 1. This 1. So we're going to move that to the other side. Very simple. 16 minus 1 is 15. 15. 16 minus 1 is 15, and that's equal to 3 over 5x. So now we're going to do five over 3. We're going to multiply it, but reciprocal. Or if it's easier for you, just flip the fraction. So we have 15 times 5 over 3. Right here, we see that 5 over 3 and 3 over 5, well, those cancel out. But now we have this section right here, and we have to deal with this section. So we already have x separated, but we just have to find out what 15 times 5 over 3 is. So let me do that in the top corner right here. So 15, it's very dark. Okay, so 15 times 5 over 3. So the first step is we're going to divide by the denominator and then multiply by the numerator. It's a very simple way. So we have 15, then we have 5/3. I'm not going to put the brackets around that. I'll just put these little, dot thingies, just so that you know that it's separate. So let's do it. So 15 divided by 3, 15 divided by 3 is equal to 5. And then we're going to multiply that by the numerator, which is also 5. So we would do 5 times 5, and that's 25. We have x. X is equal to 25. We could check that. Let me clear the So we have x is equal to 25. 3 over 5, 25 plus 1 is equal to 16. So first thing we're going to do is do the multiplication. So 25 divided by 5, 25 divided by 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. And then we multiply that with 3. And we get 15. We add that to 1 and we get 16. So now we're confirmed that x is equal to 25. X is equal to 25. Well, let me write that out. So we did 25 divided by 5. Then we got 5. Then we multiplied it. We did 5 times 3. We got 15. 15 plus 1 is 16. 16 is equal to 16, and that's a check. So the last problem is a bit tricky, but it's not that hard. So I have 3x plus 30 over 5 is equal to 15, So the first step we're going to do, in this case, we can't do the problem until the 5 goes to the other side. We have to get rid of the 5. So think about this as like blocks. So one block is 5. And then the other one is 3x plus 30, but we'll represent that as a circle. So circle. When the 5 goes to the other side, it cancels out. And if this was like some kind of game where gravity is in play, if you were playing with blocks that are facing, like they have gravity, 3x plus 30 would just fall down, and then that would be in the place. So it would be 3x plus 30 is equal to 15. So think about it like a block game. When you remove the bottom, the top will fall down and will come into the equation. So right now, 3x plus 30 you shouldn't even consider it in the equation. Don't try to straight up solve without doing that. Okay. So let's start. So first thing we're going to do is get rid of this 5. To do this, we're going to do multiplication. Multiply by 5 on both sides. 15 times 5. 15 times 5 is 5 times 5 is 25. 1 times 5 is 5, and then we have 75. So 75, let me just erase this math on the side. So 75 is equal to 3x plus 30. We just broke the bottom block, which was the 5, and now we have 3x plus 30. Now we're just going to solve it like a normal multi-step equation, two-step or multi-step, whatever you want to call it. Subtract 30 from both sides. Isolate the variable. 75 minus 30 is 45. Let me do that in the yellow. I keep messing that up. 45 is equal to 3x. Then we're going to divide both sides by 3. Divide both sides by 3, and we get 15. So x is equal to 15. Let's quickly check it. So we have 3 times 15. 3 times 15 plus 30 over 5 is equal to 15. I'm just going to start erasing something so you can just get space to. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to solve the top part. 3 times 15 is 45 plus 30 over 5 is equal to 15. 45 plus 30 is 75 over 5 is equal to 15. And then 75 divided by 5, like we said in the math, is equal to 15. 15 is equal to 15, and that checks out. X is equal to 15.